Good morning, everyone. My name is Trisha Marie Tias Guerra, and I'm going to discuss the social literacy. For the objectives, at the end of the lesson, the student must be able to critically evaluate different social, cultural, and historical contexts and demonstrate an understanding of how this shape people's perspectives and experiences, communicate effectively in diverse social settings, and lastly, analyze the causes and consequences of this issue and propose strategies for promoting fairness, justice, and equity. So, what is social literacy? Social literacy, from the perspective of socio-cultural theory, is more than the ability to read and write and more than mastering literacy skills. Children can learn literacy through social interaction between themselves and or adults in or outside school. Adults can use books, games, toys, and communications, field trips, and stories to develop the literacy practices through fun. So we define literacy through the ability of a person to read and to write, but we can't be, able to learn reading and writing by ourselves only, or it depends to the people. So for this one, we need someone to interact, to mingle, and to communicate. So that's where we called social literacy comes in. And so we can't also deny that the fact that not all of us have the ability to socialize with others or having some social behavior, and so that's where social skills comes in. So what is social skills? Social skills are aspect of social literacy. As such, they are an integral part of functioning in society. And for this, it involves good manners, communicating effectively with others, being considerate of others' feeling, and experiencing personal needs. So, to the fact that children and adults gain social skills through playing well by integrating with others into verbally, like spoken language, non-verbal language like gestures, body language, facial expression, eye contact, and appearance. So social skills are very important because if this will gonna determine how we will get along with each other, or how we are able to function in our daily lives or in our daily basis. So social skills have a big impact in our success, such as in school, workplace, and in relationship. And I believe that we as a future educator, it will helps or it will leads us to empower, since we need social skills in order for us to communicate and to teach and to help our future students to gain and develop as a person. And so that's why social skills are very essential or important in teachers. So in social skills, we have the 8 types of social skills that teachers can demonstrate among students to obtain harmonious relationship to them. We have number 1, effective communication. The effective communication involves expressing oneself clearly and actively listening to others in order to convey message accurately and understand information exchange. So effective communication, where you can determine how effective you are in communicating in front of your students, so that you can also know if the student understand you. And for the second type of social skills is conflict resolution. Conflict resolution refers to the ability to identify and address and resolve disagreements or disputes in a constructive and peaceful manners. Number three, active listening. Entails fully concentrating on comprehending what others are saying, showing interest, empathy, and responding appropriate to demonstrate understanding. Number four, we have empathy. Empathy is the capacity to understand and share the feelings, perspectives, and experiences of others, demonstrating sensitivity and compassion towards their emotion and needs. Number five, relationship management. Relationship management involves establishing and nurturing positive connections with others, effectively managing interpersonal dynamic and fostering collaboration and teamwork. Six is respect. Respect encompasses treating others with consideration, dignity, and acceptance, valuing diversity and honoring different opinions and boundaries. Number seven will be the problem solving. Problem solving skills entail the ability to analyze changes, generate creativity solutions, and make informed decisions to overcome obstacles and achieve desired outcomes. So lastly, we have the interpersonal skills. The interpersonal skills encompass a range of social abilities including effective communication, active listening, empathy, and relationship management that enable individuals to interact harmoniously with others in various contexts. So, let's go back to the social literacy. By the way, in my opinion, social literacy plays a vital role in fostering a well-functioning society. It encompasses the ability to understand, interpret, and effectively communicate within various contexts or social contexts. So social literacy goes beyond basic reading and writing skills as involves the comprehension of social norms, values, and cultural diversity. It enables individual to navigate interpersonal relationship, engage a meaningful dialogue, and contribute positively to their communities. In order for us to learn more and to have insight and knowledge about social literacy, I'll be providing some sort of video presentation so that you can definitely expand your understanding about social literacy.
Building and enhancing literacies across curriculum. Module 3 is entitled Social Literacy with 3 lessons. Lesson 1 is an overview of the nature of social literacy. Lesson 2 is a discussion on the roles of parents and teachers in the teaching of social skills among children, and Lesson 3 is an explication on the issues in the teaching of social literacy. What is social literacy? Social literacy concerns itself with the development of social skills, knowledge, and positive human values that enable human beings to act positively and responsibly in a range of complex settings. It is the knowledge of how to behave and treat other people in a way that is morally upright, just, and equitable, with a view of promoting positive and productive relations that are free from unfair prejudices, hate, and discrimination. Social skill is defined as the ability to interact with others given social context in specific ways that are socially acceptable or valued, and at the same time, personally beneficial, mutually beneficial, or primarily beneficial to others. They're often expressed as consisting of 3 interrelated components: social perception, social cognition, and social performance. Hence, peers and schools play a formative role on the social skills development of children. There are several types of social skills that must be mastered for a child to be socially adept. This range from the ability to initiate, maintain, and end a conversation to reading social signals to more complex, such as solving problems and resolving conflict. Children with social skills deficits can be taught these skills directly by parents, teachers, and/or professionals using the strategies of modeling, role-playing, rehearsal, and practice. Greeting. Children develop relationships with peers by interacting with them. The first step in a social interaction is greeting someone. Greeting others is done not only with words like hi or how are you, but with facial expressions, tone of voice, and gestures such as nod or a wave. The nonverbal part of greeting someone is just as important as the words. It is not so much what one says, but how he or she says it that lets people know he or she is glad to see them. Initiating conversation. In order to carry on the conversation, a child must be able to initiate and maintain close conversation appropriately. This requires good listening and attention skills, as well as the ability to take turns and probe for missing information. Being a good conversationalist requires turn-taking and reciprocity. Children have to listen as well as to talk. Understanding the listener. Once the conversation is initiated, it has to be maintained. In order to do that, it is important to understand the audience one is talking to. A socially adept child quickly and unconsciously identifies and categorizes listener, measures what he or she has planned to say against the anticipated response of the listener, and then proceeds, alters, or avoids what she has planned to say. He or she knows that talking to authority figures is not done in the same way when talking to peers. A misread of the listener often leads to a misunderstood message and potential social rejection. To converse in a socially appropriate manner, children must be able to take the perspective or point of view of the other person. Think the way they think. To do this, a child must pretend that he or she is the listener and think about what he or she needs to hear to understand what is being said. Empathizing. Empathy is more than perspective taking. It means that one is able to feel what the other person feels. Empathy allows to really connect with other people. Other children often think of children who lack empathy as mean, unkind, or self-centered. Reading social cues. It is very important to read social cues in a conversation. Cues are the hints and signals that guide us to the next thing to say or do. Social cues can be verbal or nonverbal. Verbal cues are the words that the other person is saying. Tone of voice is an important part of verbal cues. Good detectives pay very close attention to nonverbal cues. Previewing or planning. Conversations also require that one previews or thinks about what effect the words or actions may on the listener before she says or does them. If the impact will be negative, one can adjust what she might say or do. Problem solving. Problems and conflict are often a part of the social interactions. Someone may not agree, get angry, insult, or become aggressive at something that one says. How one reacts to these conflicts depends on how good her problem-solving skills are. Conflicts cannot be avoided and are often necessary to clear the air. Turning a conflict from a win-lose to a win-win situation is the best way to resolve conflict. This requires negotiation and compromise. Give and take those results in a situation where all parties can live with and help maintain friendships. Apologizing. Everyone makes social mistakes at one time or another. A person with good social skills is confident enough to make a sincere apology for her error. This courageous act is the quickest and easiest way to correct a social blunder. In reality, other people usually have a higher opinion on someone who apologizes for making a mistake. Apologizing is a sign of humble and mature character when one commits mistakes. What are the roles of parents and teachers in teaching social skills to children? Parents typically play the major role in teaching children social skills. Parents can directly teach social skills by modeling, role-playing, and providing opportunities for their child to rehearse and practice new skills. They should encourage and praise the child for successfully using a new skill. Professionals typically intervene only when children are having substantial social difficulty with peers. These individuals can implement structured, guided, and effective programs that often involve group work with peers. Children must then generalize the skills they learn in the group work to school and other personal social situations. School is the place where children spend the majority of their time with peers. It is, therefore, a natural and perfect setting for children to learn and practice social skills. While teachers do not have to teach a class in social skills, they can take advantage of every opportunity to help children improve their social skills. They should be alert to teasing and bullying and aware of children that are rejected or ignored by their peers. They should work cooperatively with the children's parents to prevent humiliation, embarrassment, and distress that befall these children. Pairing a socially inept child with a socially adept one, involving children in cooperative instead of competitive learning exercises, identifying and acknowledging the strengths of all children, understanding social weaknesses, and creating an environment in which diversity is accepted and celebrated can greatly enhance all children's social abilities, sense of belongingness, and self-esteem not just in the classroom but in life as well. What are the issues in the teaching of social literacy? How children develop their social literacy is intrinsically a contextual matter and is not something which can be easily traced in a linear or developmental fashion. The acquisition of social literacy is a complex process which is historically and culturally conditioned and context-specific. Children learn through social practices, both explicit and implicit, and become human through social interaction. Nevertheless, it is also the case that children engage in social activity before they are taught it. In other words, children are disposed to be social before they learn what sociability is all about. There are two distinct ways of answering the question on how children learn to live socially with each other and with adults. The first view is normative and communal. From their culture, children learn customs that provide them with a guide to act in ways minimize conflict. The second view is pragmatic and individualistic. The social order of children is created by explicit and implicit agreements entered into by self-seeking individuals to avert the worst consequences of their selfish instincts. In this last view, social order is dependent on sanctions and formal agreements. Rules are obeyed because they confer personal advantage on a child. In the normative view, children are persuaded of the moral force of acting socially through their voluntary associations with others, both in their immediate circle, such as the family, and in the wider community, for example, through membership of a church or club. The child in this normative view will not only know the correct behavior, but will perform the role without any need for regular, conscious reference to the rules governing it. Teaching social literacy in schools is not as easy as it appears to be, due to subjective standards of morality and inherent human capacity to judge and make excuses. Subjective standards of morality. The natural outcome of postmodern philosophies is that truth and morality are considered subjective and open to individual interpretation. This can be seen in the current culture, where actions and behavioral patterns that were once considered bad have now become acceptable, so much so that many now consider them to be even good. When the standard of measure between good and bad changes, this gives us license to change as well and opens the gates to all kinds of abuse. This, in effect, pulls the rug out from under any and all attempts at true justice and equitability, since they themselves rely on a fixed moral standard. Interestingly, many of those who insist on a subjective moral standard will be the first to demand for a fixed moral standard when they themselves fall victim to a subjective morality's inevitable outcome. Human nature. While we would all like to believe that people are inherently good, experience has taught us that the inherent goodness of humanity is at best unreliable. Sometimes it is there, often it is not. We're quick to champion the cause of moral uprightness, justice, and equity, but balk when our words and actions come under their scrutiny. In other words, we insist that others be judged according to a fixed moral standard, but invoke a subject one when our own behavior is questioned. We demand justice when we perceive ourselves to be victims of wrongdoing, but we surround ourselves with excuses when we do wrong. We insist that others treat us equitably, but are reluctant when treating others with equity costs more than we expected. And hence, today's students have grown up with the internet that they have become inseparable from their gadgets. Blake offers helpful reminders to young professionals in terms of social skills in the modern age. This situation underscores the importance of educating students in what could be called social literacy to ensure their academic and career success. Situational awareness in the workplace. While casual office attire has become the norm in many offices, job interviews typically require more formal dress and behavior to demonstrate a level of respect. Stories prevail of young adults showing up to interviews in casual clothing, texting, or using phones during job interviews, or even bringing their parents with them. Such behavior demonstrates a lack of situational awareness about what is appropriate to do in different social circumstances. While college classrooms or the actual office atmosphere may allow for a more casual dress code, students need to be taught what is socially acceptable in terms of dress or behavior for them to stand out above their colleagues. An ability to read social situations illustrates strength to employers quickly. Picking up on a client's mood or expectations in various business or cross-cultural situations can be the difference between success and failure. Social intelligence and technological communication. Tech speak and technology use have affected many young people's ability to communicate. While email has deformalized much of the communication process, students still need to ensure their writing denotes respect and provides enough context for professors or future employers to readily respond. In addition, TechSpeak has reduced students' ability to communicate using correct grammar. Through studying particular communication genres and what they demand, students can learn more about what individual situations demand in terms of the formality of communication. For example, if a professor signs an email with Dr. Smith, this is a fairly good indication that he expects to be addressed as such and not informally by his first name. Social intelligence in traditional communication. While email has taken over as the primary method of communication, traditional modes of discourse still exist. For example, many employers still expect cover letters in addition to resumes, and the lack of a thank you note for a gift is often perceived as more than a simple social oversight. An ability to craft these types of documents illustrates an understanding of social expectations and denotes a level of respect or appreciation. While not related to the traditional educational canon, learning to properly write a cover letter or business letter or a thank you card not only teaches students that these documents exist and are often necessary, but also shows them how to craft such documents, saving them time and energy in the future.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rudan Grace Bentain, and we are going to discuss about digital literacy. First, let me read to you a quote from Nicolas Negroponte. Computing is not about computers anymore. It is about living. Again, this is from Nicolas Negroponte. So for our objectives, at the end of the lesson, the student should be able to understand what is digital literacy, comprehend the importance of digital literacy, analyze the 7 components of digital literacy. So before we proceed to our proper lesson, let's first have an activity. So I want you to get a paper and a pen and then write your answer, and you will be given 2 minutes. Then take a picture and post it to your folders. Your timer starts now. Okay, so for now, for our lesson, let me show a video to help us to be prepared for our topic, the digital literacy.
It's time for an adventure, but not just any adventure, an online adventure called digital literacy. You might be wondering, what is it? So let's break it down. Digital is what we do online and how we use technology and the internet. Literacy is reading and writing, speaking and listening, and creating. So what happens when you put the two together? You get digital literacy, which is reading, writing, communicating, and creating online.
So digital literacy. So what is digital literacy? So we have here digital literacy is the ability to use technology to find information, evaluate sources, create content, and communicate with others effectively. Digital literacy also refers to a particular set of competencies that allows you to function and participate fully in a digital world. So students nowadays are generally considered to be digital native. So what is digital native? So digital natives refers mostly to the millennial generation and those who will follow it. So this is a group of people who have grown up surrounded by computers, tablets, gaming consoles, cell phone, and other digital devices, and who have readily accepted their use as a necessary part of daily life. However, it is also equally important to teach students now to become a digital citizen. So, what is digital citizen? So, this is also refers to a person who possesses the knowledge and abilities needed to use digital technologies for efficient communication, social participation, and the use of digital material. So, digital citizenship is about engaging with digital technologies in an ethical and self assured way. So, I also have another video to show you more information and also to help us more to understand our discussion.
Media used to be straightforward. People produced things like magazines, newspapers, radio, and television, then distributed it to the masses. You were the last link in the chain. Today we have the internet. Not a chain, but a network of digital connections, with no beginning and no end. But there's one thing about media that hasn't changed over the years. Media are constructions. Media are created largely for social, political, or commercial purposes, to sell products or services, values or ideals to you, your family, and your friends. Our digitally connected world is constantly transforming the way we play, learn, and interact with each other. Digital media are getting more sophisticated and harder to navigate. To survive and thrive in a networked digital age, you need to know and understand how to access digital media, analyze it, evaluate it, and produce it. Be aware and be smart. Digital Media Smart.
So we have here the importance of digital literacy. So why is it important to understand the digital literacy? It is because using digital literacy, this teaches children and the young generations with skills, and they will be need to use technology safely and responsibly. So we have here also the importance of digital literacy students who are building digital literacy skills. First, we have to know how to find and consume digital content. Student must also able to create, communicate, and share digital content. Realize the perils of cyberbullying, seek to stop current bullies and prevent others from cyberbullying, understand the basic of internet safety such as creating strong passwords, using privacy settings, and knowing what to share or not on social media. So we also have 7 components of digital literacy. So we have first critical thinking, online safety skills, digital culture, collaboration and creativity, finding information, communication and etiquette, functional skills. So first we have the critical thinking. So, critical thinking skills build self empowerment and confidence. This is also enables individual to be efficiently gathered a knowledge, quickly process information, and intelligently analyze data. Next, we have digital literacy skills, online safety. Online safety is being aware of the nature of possible threats that you could encounter engaging in activity through the internet. This could be security threats, protecting and managing your personal data, online reputation management, and avoiding harmful or illegal content. Again, online safety is being aware of the nature and possible threats that you could encounter with activity on internet. Next, we have digital culture. So digital culture is a work environment that uses digital tools and technologies to shape and influence it. Most employees or students in organizations with highly developed digital cultures use technology to collaborate, innovate, and provide consumers with access to goods, services, and support. Next, we have our digital literacy skills, collaboration, and creativity. So, digital collaboration using technology to effectively collaborate with each other for a specific purpose, allowing for the co construction of knowledge and also fostering peer learning and support communities. While digital creativity is about using digital tools and technologies to explore creative ideas and also apply different approaches and find new ways of displaying your work and research. This could be taking a photo, recording a video, or doing something fancy in a presentation.
Because digital media are so interactive, they can affect our behavior, perceptions, beliefs, and our feelings about the world around us. Even though it may not seem like it, our interactions through digital media can have a real impact on others. For instance, that funny photo you post or joking text you send may not be so funny to those viewing it. It can be hard to know how something you've said or done online makes other people feel. That's because facial expression, tone of voice, and other valuable cues are completely missing from the experience. Also, because people sometimes feel anonymous when they're using digital media, they may act differently. They might post things they normally wouldn't, or say things they shouldn't. They may forget that laws, morals, and rights apply online too. And sometimes, the words or outspoken opinions of just a few people can seem to represent everybody. The positive side of this notion is that we can all be full citizens online, even kids. We can get involved in our communities, connect with experts and mentors, and contribute personally to making the world a better place. Be aware and be smart. Digital Media Smart.
Next, we have digital literacy skills about finding information. So, information literacy is the ability to find and evaluate, organize, use, and communicate information in all its various formats, and most notably in situation requiring decision making, problem solving, or acquisition of knowledge. So, we have the information literate person can identify, find, evaluate, apply, acknowledge the information. Next, we have communication and netiquette. So, netiquette is a set of unofficial rules for good behavior and politeness followed by users of online and digital technologies, such as the internet, email, and chat room. So, netiquette rules are important as they encourage civil and well mannered behavior online and prevent any misunderstanding from occurring. So, these rules ensure that the online classroom is a respectful, safe environment where everyone can share their opinions and collaborate in an organized manner. Next, we have the functional skills. So we all require these abilities to succeed in life. So using these skills, the functional skills, union have been actively assisting members and other in improving these skills for more than 20 years, and they will continue to do so. So that's all. Thank you.